Angebasojola here. The counter-offensive waged by the Ukrainian army has been called off. The counter-offensive started in early June, on the 8th of June 2023. It went on for about 4 months and it ended in mid-October 2023. There were about 90,000 people, Ukrainians, at this point that had been killed. There had been about 1,900 armored vehicles that have been destroyed, and 557 tanks have been destroyed by the Russian army. So basically, the Ukrainian counteroffensive has been a dismal failure, with at some point of the counteroffensive, Ukraine gaining about nearly 250 to about 300 meters, but nothing of significance that can actually flip the tables of the war in their favor. Now, the main reasons given for the failure of the Ukrainian army's counteroffensive, right, is the fact that they needed to deal with something known as an obstacle belt, right? An obstacle belt is fundamentally a series of layered military obstacles, right, that act as a barrier or a fortification against the incursion of the enemy or the enemy coming into one's territory, right? So you have a surface area that's about, let's say, 20 kilometers squared, right? Square area, right? And in this area, you have a series of obstacles which are placed. For example, you would first start with an area which you put a lot of mines, right? Minefields. Minefields where when the tank drives over the minefield, it explodes. When a brigade of soldiers walk on the minefield, so it explodes. So that would be the first layer of the obstacle belt. The second layer of the obstacle belt would be the placing of anti-tank technology that ranges from hedgehogs, right, and dragon's teeth, right, and certain sized ditches, right, that they need to dig. These ditches are dug in such a way that when a tank, right, drives over it, right, the tank tends to expose its underbelly, right, which is the most sensitive part of the tank, right? Now, when the tank goes down into the ditch and comes out, right, it exposes the underbelly, right? And then the people or the soldiers, the Russian soldiers, start using the artillery to shoot down the tanks, right? You also have trenches. Trenches mostly have soldiers in it, right? Uh, Deep trenches spread over a surface area and people shooting at you, right? And then you have reserves and artillery. There are huge guns also facing in this obstacle course, right? That makes it very, very difficult for the enemy to pass through. There's also a technology known as dragon's teeth, right? It's basically concrete um, blocks that are shaped as pyramids, right? These pyramids act as an obstacle or something that can stop tanks from, or it can make the flow of tanks in a field or in a place very slow, right? It can create obstacles for this. So also barbed wires, right, are also placed there. And there's a lot of shooting in this area. So the Ukrainian army had it very difficult, right, when it comes to this area, right, known as the obstacle belt. It's also known as some Russians generals named defense line, right? I might talk about it at some other video, but the main reason that the counteroffensive failed, right? Even though the counteroffensive lasted about 4 months, it failed because of mainly the obstacle course that the Ukrainian army had to handle. So right now, we're just waiting for the offensive, the winter offensive that Russia is preparing for. And yeah, we'll see where this ends up. Thank you for this opportunity. I'll see you in the next video.